Morning.
Morning, Jeff.
Oh yeah,
I'm good. How are you?
pretty good.
Good. Bill
Did you
is.
ask if you're alone?
I'm sorry?
Are you alone today?
Well, Bill supposedly is going to be on Zoom. He had a car problem.
Oh, okay.
Um, so we'll give him a minute here.
All right.
How have you been? How's the boy?
Jesse's doing well. Doing
Good?
very well. Yeah. It's everything is tenuous moving forward. I don't know exactly what's going to happen,
Yep.
but he's doing well.
Well,
And
that's good.
yeah, he's a beautiful little boy and beautiful energy and beautiful nature, and he adapts to everything well.
Yeah.
Looks like Bill's logging in.
Yes.
Hey, Bill.
There he is.
Yep.
Bill, did you get my email? I mean,
Yes,
my
I did.
message?
Yes, I did. Thank
Okay.
you. Yeah.
Okay. Did that clarify things okay?
It clarified things. Yes.
Okay. I can understand your confusion. Good. So you're having car issues?
I'm sorry.
You're having car issues?
Not issues really. I'm putting a new set of tires on,
Oh.
which is an issue, but it's not the engine breaking down in any way. So
Well, that's there's something to be said for that.
yes.
Good. Okay.
Shaw is having a good morning.
Yes, indeed. So, questions, issues, reports,
One question.
breakthroughs?
One question. Last class, when we were doing, which I didn't actually catch it when we were doing it live, but when I was watching it again, when we were doing the eight gates, at one point you mentioned twisting in along the yin edges of the body, twisting out along the yang edges. Could you give more detail as to what the yin and yang edges are and what that does and all?
Actually, I wanted to talk about that today, so
Oh,
thank you.
there we go.
Anything else you want to throw in?
Um, Not at the moment, but probably as we go along.
Okay, Bill?
Yeah, no, I'll come up with something, I'm sure.
Okay. I'm sure you will. So, now that you begin to have some idea about the twisting in and twisting out, we need to begin to get a little more specific about it. And that is that um, when we are twisting in, the energy is moving along the yin surfaces of the body. And when it's twisting out, it's moving along the yang surfaces of the body. Now, it's not too hard. I think you probably both know what's yin and yang, but I'll just, to be sure you're clear about it. Um, the inside of the leg is yin, the outside of the leg is yang, the front of the torso is yin, and the back is yang. The inside of the arm is yin, and the outside of the arm is yang. Um, Bruce likes to say that if you forget, the easy way to tell is to slap those surfaces, because the yang surface doesn't bother too much. You you slap the yin surface and it will sting a bit more. Not that I think you really need that, but it's kind of an interesting thought. So we want now to begin to be aware that the energy as it's coming in is moving along the yin surface in, and as it's going out, it's going along the yang surface. And there are deeper levels of this, of course, but it starts with feeling it along the surface of the body. Um, Obviously, from what we've talked about before, eventually, in talking about the arms, we want that movement of that energy to be from the fingertips to the spine and from the spine back to the fingertips. But you're not going to feel that or be able to do it usually right away. And so you need to work on it in kind of a progression, a sequence. Um, and since this isn't totally due to either one of you, maybe you can work from fingertips to elbow. Maybe you can feel that amount of movement as you're doing this. So this is what I'd like you to begin to try to be aware of. And it is the bending and extending and the twisting in and twisting out that is moving the energy along those surfaces. Question at the moment?
Um, it's probably jumping ahead, but we talk about moving it from the fingertips to the spine, essentially, and then uh, we talked separately about moving the energy from the earth up to the dantian and back. Um, those are at this point kind of separate from each other, but I'm wondering about how to join all that energy, or when we, is it too soon to start thinking about that?
If you can move the energy from your fingertips to your spine, in and out along the yin and yang surfaces, then no, it's not too soon to think about that.
Okay.
Obviously, moving the energy from the earth um, into your dantian is going to require twisting the legs.
Yeah.
And twisting the legs is significantly more difficult um, than twisting the arms. And as a matter of fact, we'll be working on that tomorrow.
Okay.
Since you want to jump ahead.
No, it was just that, I mean, I know that this has to be done in segments, I was just wondering how it all joined together eventually.
Yeah. Well, it all joins together eventually because you begin to have twisting not only in the arms but in the legs and in um, the buttocks, um, and you have wrapping in the torso. Uh, so it is in effect happening all over the body
At once. Yeah.
at once. Absolutely. So
Okay. Yeah.
that perfectly good question might take a little while to get there.
Yeah. Well, next week.
Oh, good. You're going to practice this week. um, any other questions right at the moment, Jeff?
No, no. I'm just, I'm thinking that in order to focus on this particular aspect, I'm going to have to do what you suggest, which is not try and do too many things at once in a
Yeah.
flow. Whether it's the eight gates or our form,
Yep.
just to focus on this one thing on a particular flow, because it does seem like it's very focus oriented and very mind intent oriented as well.
Yep.
So that's what I was thinking.
And there is a certain degree of allowing this to happen too, not simply making it happen.
Right.
So that's kind of, you have to begin to really um, try to have your mind extended through your body and begin to focus your intent. And if we simply go back to um, really exercises we've done previously, a good way simply to work on this is to simply work on bending and twisting in and extending and twisting out, and not worrying so much about any other movement, but just beginning to try to feel the energy flowing in the fingertips, through the palm, through the wrist, and back out. And that it's coming in the yin surface and out the yang.
Mm.
And that's something that you can, I mean, you don't have to be holding your arms up here even to do this. You could be standing in the store waiting to check out, and twist in and twist out. And it's the kind of thing you can practice all day long whenever it crosses your mind. So clearly, the eight gates is a great place to work on this. But also, I would want us today to start with just doing what I just did, just that simple exercise, and then we'll flow into the eight gates.
Good.
Um, See if we can take it into that.
Right.
So stepping out and just taking that moment to allow yourself to land. Feel your structure through your whole body. Feel your feet softening and merging into the earth. And the head lifting gently off the top of the spine. Aware of stabilizing your breathing allowing it to lengthen and slow. And indeed, let your weight settle towards your heel, and as much as you can, allow everything to twist outward and sink that energy that the body cannot use into the earth. Let it drop down and out. Then extending your mind through your body, perhaps bringing the arms up in front. Be sure you keep that bit of space in your armpits. And twist and bend in, feeling the energy move in the yin side of your hands. And as you extend and twist out, feel it going out the yang side, out through the fingertips. Coming in, fingers, laogong, wrist, and out, wrist, laogong, and fingers. And just finding the pace in this that works for you. Maybe my pace is not quite right, that's okay. Find a pace at which you can begin to connect to the energy and allow it to move along the appropriate surfaces. Then allowing the arms to flow down to the sides for a moment. And beginning the 8 gates, energy coming in the yin and out the yang. And in the yin, out the yang. 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 out the yang. In fingers lao gong and wrists out, wrists lao gong and fingers. In the yin, out the yang. In the yin, out the yang. In the fingertips, lao gong and wrists, and out wrists, lao gong and fingertips. In the yin, out the yang. In, out. In the yin, out the yang. Yin, yang. Yin, yang. Yin, yang. So, what did you feel? Questions?
Oh, good. A lot to think about and a lot to help work on to progress out of all that for me.
Okay.
So, doing it that one time, I started to feel things a little bit differently and trying also not to focus on, as you said, moving the energy, but letting it move as well. So a lot to think about and integrate
Yep.
in the coming weeks from that whole part of the lesson for me.
Good. Bill?
About the same. I did feel energy moving both directions.
Good.
So I was also trying to, we talked about this last week, either here or in God's or in both, I don't know, but generating from the qua Um,
Mhm.
and that seems to help. So
Yeah, that in there is definitely a benefit by getting the qua to be the leader, because it takes some of the um, some of the pressure off the arms. It lets them open up, um, and be more receptive to the energy instead of trying too hard with the arms. So yeah,
I know
that's a
all
good
about
thing.
that.
Well, sorry?
I know all about that, trying too hard with the arms.
We all go through that stage, Bill, believe me. Believe me. Good. Um, I will say, obviously, this also carries right into the form, but um, don't don't make yourself do that. Try to do that right away, if unless you are feeling that it's moving very easily in the eight gates, then begin to let yourself be aware of it in the form, or be open to it, because sometimes you will find that in the form, just simply because of what it is and what you've done before, you will suddenly have an awareness that the energy is moving that way. So, um, questions in the form? No. Okay.
Not specifics right now, no.
Okay. So, yes, let me have you flow individually. Um, so, whichever one of you would like to begin.
Up to you, Bill. You want to go first or second?
Go ahead. You go first.
Good. Okay, I'm going to pause you for a moment. Remember that you want Pung to have the fingertips leading, not the edges of the hand. That comes with G. Do you understand what I mean? Yeah.
You have mentioned that to me before, that's why I know what you mean.
Okay, good. And the other thing is to remember that on um, has two phases. So when actually, I guess I have to show you this. So let me. after you've gotten to G, you have Lu, and there should continue to be a slight twisting in before you have the outward movement in on. Okay, so there are actually two stages or two energies expressed in on. Yeah, good.
Like that.
That's better. Yep.
I've always known that it is in there, but I've always blurred them together and not really.
So when you think about on push downward, it has that first part of sucking their energy in so that you can send it out and down. Yeah. Um, nice. Um, keep working on not shifting the weight too far forward. That still looks to me to be an issue in places.
Okay. Yeah.
Um, you just have to be constantly aware of that.
Right. Yeah. That's a long time thing for
Yeah.
me. My knee
Yep.
too far.
Um, one place in particular, I noticed that when you go to the chop down, um,
Yeah.
it that's where it gets really difficult, I think, because your weight is all on one leg, but you have to try not to push that knee, definitely not beyond the tip of the toe.
Okay.
Um, wave hands, I really felt that you weren't getting the roundness, the sphericalness into that. Um, and that is hard. It's very subtle. Um,
Can you show me what you mean?
yeah. Whoop. Yes, I will if I bring myself back here. So when you go into this, for one thing, you're going down to a smaller ball,
Right.
and you want to keep that rotation going all the time. So it rotates to larger and it rotates to smaller.
Okay.
So the problem is that that's very subtle, and our tendency is we get to full size too soon, and then we just have to hold it, which is how we learn it to begin with. But
Right.
now we want to get past that and begin to get the sphericalness of the movement in there. So it has to have that continuous rotation as well as continuous change in size.
Okay. So the 2 points at which it goes from larger to smaller and smaller to larger are one when we're at the edge right here, right?
Yep, out to the sides.
And then once we cross the middle and the hands start to turn up. So
Yep,
I want to make sure I was clear on that.
yep, absolutely.
All right. I will work on that aspect of it some more.
Yep. Um, there was something later that I was going to mention. Um,
Shoot the arrow.
I'm sorry.
Shoot the arrow with the bow.
Um,
Last week you mentioned about my roundness with that, so I was wondering if that was still a problem or if you noticed it being still a problem.
quite frankly, I didn't even notice that one.
Okay.
It must not have been bad.
Okay, good.
um, oh, just kind of a general thing um, is that I felt like the twisting and the bending got lost from time to time,
Probably, yeah.
and everything sort of stayed out
Yeah.
rather than having that continual movement.
Okay.
And also, maybe in other places, but I particularly noticed it when you did the kick. One of the things you want to think about there is that um, the after you do the kick and you do the strike, the arm doesn't go out here to strike. It goes out here, 70% again.
Okay.
So don't overextend into that.
Okay.
Do you have questions? Other questions?
No, not at the moment, but I'm glad that earlier on you clarified the additional bending in before. Uh,
Yeah, and that's true in all the ons.
yeah, yeah. No, that was that helped clarify me putting in a more distinctive bending in first.
Yeah, good,
Good, thank you.
good. Bill?
Okay.
Oh, oh.
So, Bill, let me stop you for a moment. So, I I feel like you're rushing, um, and what that's causing you to do is to um, kind of take a break between each Peng, Ji, Lu, and An instead of keeping the movement continuous.
Okay.
So if you kind of slow yourself down a little bit and let yourself connect everything, um, I think that'll help that, help your flow there. That's got some got some nice areas in it. I particularly liked your work on wave hands. You obviously have gotten a pretty good idea of that. Um,
Thank you.
let's look at that section after the first single whip.
Okay.
Uh,
So,
yes, what do you want to say about that?
no, I don't know why, but that that continues to elude me. So,
And when we go over this section, can you specify what you're doing with the placement of your foot? Because there's a couple spots where it continues to be fuzzy for me in this area as well, as far as the foot. It
Sure.
never feels comfortable.
Okay. So I'm going to go into single whip because that's another place I wanted to mention. So we're stepping that foot straight to the front and we're twisting and bending in, and that right foot is rotating on the heel. And then we're bending and twisting out, and that's both arms moving. Jeff, sometimes you have a tendency just to move the right one.
Yeah, good point.
And then when you get to 100%, you want to round this corner here. It isn't here, here. It's out, step, and as you bend in and then extend out. And so there is a bend in as you step, and then this expands out into the single whip. And then as you shift, this is the beginning to bend and twist in. So things are coming in a bit, and then you're actually still bending at this point. And then as you step back, you continue to bend, and then you extend and twist out. You're twisting and pushing out and down with that. And then on the release, left foot is turning in on the heel. The arms are twisting in, and then as you shift, they're twisting out, and then you continue to shift onto that left foot, rotate in, rotate to the right to step, and then rotate left, expanding into shoulder. And then turning, now you're twisting in, twisting out, out, on. And then loop, and continue that in, and then on. There's a lot in there. So Bill, kind of part of what I felt was that that the bending in and extending out was not clear for you through there.
Yes, in the moves just before the shoulder, um, I was concentrating on, okay, turn in, turn out, and yes, I was aware that I was losing the bending, twisting, and
Yeah.
the flow. Yeah.
Does did this did you feel this kind of made it clearer?
Yes.
So just for a moment, let's do that section together.
Okay.
David, I got one question in there as far as direction.
Sure.
After we're here, right, assuming this is the front, we're facing front, right? After single width and we're here.
Yeah.
Now, as we come back down and we set the foot and we come down, which way are we doing this? Is it to the side or to the corner?
The 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 push out
Yeah,
as you shift back.
extend, right, extend and push back. Is that to the
Yeah.
side or to the corner?
So that push is more or less to the side. I am not, I am actually kind of in between corner and side.
Right. I think that may have, I've always done it to the hard side and tried to make sure that I turned all the way to the side. And I think that may have something, or maybe everything to do with the discomfort of my feet in there because,
Well, I think that may be hard on your knees. I
yeah,
think you have to think about there, I think you have to think about where you have placed your right foot. And
right,
the problem is that you're trying to place that right foot so that you do this and then um, it doesn't have to be in position for the corner yet because it's going to come in and then out.
right,
So
right.
so where you place that is what's comfortable for you here. And so you have to make sure you're not twisting either knee as you do that pull down.
Yeah, what's been happening is I've been ending up twisting my right knee because it's not turned far enough to the right. Yet then I have to kind of do a little bit of a twist step when I come back. So it just has never felt quite right. But I think maybe if I don't make myself turn all the way to a 90-degree right side to do that, it would help.
Yeah.
That
And how far
twisting
you
it.
turn here, of course, is determined by both feet. But
Yeah,
after this point, you have this turn, which allows you to turn that left leg as far as you need to. You could go to where you could do it straight to the side without causing a problem for either one. Just depends.
I think what I've got to do is when I do step back initially with my right foot, instead of keeping it more of an angle, I've got to face it almost directly to the right side, and that will help. And I won't have the pressure on my knee.
Yeah, with your legs, it probably will be
Yeah,
almost to the right side.
I think that answers my problem.
Yep. Yep. Good. So let's start at on to the right corner. We'll go into single whip. So step, rotate and shift with twist that leg in, extend out 100%, reset, twist in, twist out, single whip, continue forward, touch, bending, step back, extend out, twist out, bend and twist in as you rotate the left leg, bend and twist out as you shift, continue on to the left, rotate in, twisting in, rotate right and step to the corner, empty step, rotate and shift to shoulder, expanding. Then slowly turning right towards the corner, bending and twisting in, twist out, out, and push downward, shift, move, on. So questions in there?
Nope.
Bill?
No, I think probably a few hundred times through the shoulder sequence
Uh-huh.
could help.
Okay.
Good.
Good. Well, maybe maybe this will you can work with this video and
Yes, Yep.
kind of smooth that area out a bit.
yes. That's the
Good.
plan.
um, I don't think I'm going to try to give you more at the moment. Bill, I think that let's start by just seeing if you can work on smoothing out that section.
Okay.
There are a couple places further on we could work on a bit too, but let's put those off. I'm all for not overloading. So, any other questions at the moment? Okay. Well, practice, practice, practice is the answer. Thank you.
Thank
Yeah.
you.
I did get your Venmo, Jeff. Thank you.
Good. Okay. You're welcome.
Good.
All right. See you guys next week. Have a good week.
Okay. Yeah, have a good week.
Have a good week, indeed. See you in the morning, Bill.
Yep.
Okay.